You hold that money, that capital, invest it on yourself, build a business or another source of income.
Alright guys, we do have SEO hacker people here joining us for the Q&A. I have David, our COO, and he will join us and answer some questions. In fact, so you can get more insight, more than my own, and I hope it brings a lot of value today. We have here Carl, Louis, Judy, Steffi, and Marian to ask questions from the team. And if these are questions that resonate with you, then well and good. I hope you learned something new from this. And we are going to be starting with the first question from Carl.
How do you determine the right time to make an investment?
The right time to make an investment is, number one, pinaka-importante, you have to have disposable income. And when I say disposable income, this is money that you're willing to lose. This is money that you would spend on otherwise things that you really don't need, like more of wants, or could be liabilities. So instead na gastusin mo siya doon, you spend it in an investment. And when you say investment, these are things that are supposedly income-generating assets. So it could be a piece of property, it could be a vehicle, if you're going to make it a money-making asset, like some people are using it for Grab, some people are using it for their sales team. Walang problema yon. As long as it's money-making assets, then you can invest on it. Hindi investments yung sugal. Even stock investments, pag di mo pinag-aralan, nakuha ka lang ng stock tip, hindi investment yon. Investments are things that you really studied and you know are going to have a high chance of making you money. It's high risk pa rin at the get-go, unless it's like dividend stocks like Ace and B with an 8% dividend for the next 5 years. Then it's still going to be a risk for you, and I suggest just use money you're willing to lose and disposable income for you to invest in it. This is money that you're not going to use in your business to roll for inventory. So, hindi mo kailangan tong pera na to, wala ka nang magawa, nakaupo lang siya sa bangko, ayaw mo siya i-time deposit kasi for you maliit yung returns ng time deposit, then that's the time that you use it for investment.
Just to add there, no, kasi we always hear naman ng mga tips from financial advisors about the emergency fund. So, I think my answer to that is before you invest, you should be prepared with your emergency funds. Kasi when you invest, it's not gonna be liquid anymore. Hirap niya i-convert into money again, right? When you buy a car, hindi mo siya agad pwede ibenta, land, unless. Tapos you'll be forced to sell it at a lower price kasi kailangan mo na eh. And also, some people will take advantage of that kasi alam nila that you need the money, so they will buy it for less. So, I think mas safe talaga if you prepare your emergency funds. So, ang daming calculations yan, right? Kasi it depends on your lifestyle, right? So, it's like that. May iba, lifestyle, sakto lang. Tapos, yung computation niya is how much you spend. Tapos, may time something, right? I don't have the exact number. So, the financial advisors usually gives that number. For me, I just use it, like, I estimate how much would it take kapag na-hospitalized. That's just a simple computation that I use. Tapos, if I have that money aside, medyo confident na ako to invest.
How can someone protect themselves against financial investment fraud and scams?
It's really about knowing what makes sense and what doesn't. Usually, when it comes to financial fraud, their hook and line is greed. Parang this is going to be your interest in a month. This is going to be what you're going to earn if you do this. Karamihan naman sa kanila get rich quick eh, to be honest. Too good to be true and get rich quick. Most of them are like that, if not all of them. And the reason why people bite is because of greed. People do want to get rich quick. People do want passive income. And people do want a big interest. All of these things are not biblically sound. When you read the Bible, it says there, money gained quickly is also quickly lost. So if you study biblical principles, and it has a lot more verses about money and finances than heaven and hell, then you will be wise in your investments. And if you don't want to study the Bible, I respect that. The simplest thing you can do is to know if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Don't invest.
For me, always invest in yourself. Yeah. You don't let other people have your money and then do some stuff there to grow it. For me, mas comfortable. You hold that money, that capital, invest it on yourself, build a business or another source of income because nasa sa'yo yung money. If you give it to someone na parang will you make use of the money and babalik niya sa'yo ng mas malaki, nasa kanya na yung money. He or she can do anything about it, right? So for me, not just because I'm playing safe, then it's just reasonable na you hold the money, invest it on yourself.
Managing multiple responsibilities can be challenging. What strategies and practices do you use to prevent feeling overwhelmed by various commitments and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Delegation. So, we have to learn to delegate. There are some things that only you can do, and you are the best person to do it. Other things, you have to learn to delegate. And when I say delegate, the usual mistake is that people would say, delegate, so ibabato ko na sa ibang tao. That's not how you delegate. First, you show them how to drive the car. Don't give them the keys to your Ferrari, because chances are they will crash it, or they will make sure that it has some scratch marks, or it has dents after they park it in your garage. First, show them how to drive and operate it. They are in the passenger seat, you're in the driver, you drive it from point A to point B, you teach them, and you lead them by the hand. Then, you tell them, okay, now that I've shown you more than a handful of times how I do it, now you do it. You give them the keys, you're still at the passenger seat, they are on the driver's seat, you watch them drive, and then you tell them how to improve. After that, when you're confident that they can take it from point A to point B without dents or scratches, then you say, okay, here are the keys to the Ferrari. You do it. That's how you delegate.
What is your leadership style? So what advice can you give to leaders on ensuring that their leadership style is adaptable to the needs and dynamics of their team?
My leadership style is more of trust, delegation, training, and giving my authority towards the end. So we did discuss this about delegation earlier. I don't believe in the phrase na if you want something done right, then do it yourself. That can work, but how many of yourself do you have? Just one, right? How many things do you need done right? A lot. So it's unscalable. It's not something that is sustainable. So you have to train people talaga. Invest in them, have workshops, leadership trainings, materials, teach people how to fish. And then you trust them with your authority. You tell others na, okay, this person, I trust him or her with this and that. And you listen to him or you listen to her. Then people will start to follow. Then you multiply yourself. Leadership is about influence. How much influence can you get if you're just one person? You have to have other people vouching for you, deciding like how you decide. How can you have that? You have to raise leaders talaga. You have to multiply yourself by teaching other people who know you, who follow you, how you think, how you decide, how you respond. Once you're able to do that, then you're able to build your leadership team. Then you can let go of some things and then you can scale. Now it's sustainable. A lot of people kasi their leadership style is unsustainable. It's very hands-on. And hands-on naman, okay naman eh. Like people appreciate hands-on. But if it will cost you your life, I would rather not do it. And we see the biggest businesses, they're not that hands-on.
As a leader, how do you value your stakeholders?
First and foremost, in SEO Hacker, we have a handful of stakeholders. Thank God di sila sobrang dami. Mahirap yung marami. So if you have a board, you have investors, marami yan. In SEO Hacker, wala naman akong board, wala akong investors. If you look at our SEC, it's just me and Apple listed there. I'm the president, Apple's the treasurer, so I don't really have to answer to anyone. So the main stakeholders would be our clientele. And what do they want? They want what we promise in the contract, which means first page SLA. So how do you make them happy? By making sure they're ranking first page for their primary keywords. It's simple. We don't have to make it complicated. If you make it more complicated, you make it harder for the operations, you make it harder for your stakeholders, you make it harder for the client happiness officers, you make it harder for the execom. So let's just keep it simple. Ito yung gusto nila. At the end of the day, they have to be on the first page. And then, kung meron silang gustong plus, pro bonus, kung kaya naman natin ibigay, why not? Ngayon, kung mahirap talaga, then we have to negotiate with them. Ganun lang siya. Now, with other companies, it's a lot more complicated because they have a lot of stakeholders, because they have investors, a lot of investors actually, para makahabol sila sa mga competitors nila. Tayo, wala tayong ganun. But if you have stakeholders, just be crystal clear on what they expect from you. It all boils down to expectation. What do you expect from me? Ito. Okay, how can I summarize that? Okay, this is the summary. First page rankings, SLA. That's it. Clear, cut, done. Ganun lang.
If you've heard of the high touch service, right? We're actually offering that, also saying that to our clients. First thing is you answer them right away. That will give them the idea they're valued. Kasi if you answer too long, immediately they know you don't care about, right? Also, when you answer them wrong, so you have to prepare your answer. That's how we give value to our clients. Hindi tayo bara-bara. Hindi tayo, we just, sige lang, para may masabi lang. And how am I going to that point? Kasi we also become clients ourselves, diba, from other. So, of course, when you call them, you feel the same, right? Pag sobrang tagal, call wait. Siguro, take you 15 to 20 minutes. May iba, you message, after a week pa sasagot, di ba? So that means you also get mad, right? So you yourself, you're a client from another business owner, right? So you don't want to do things that you don't want to happen to yourself, right? So yun, ayaw mo naman din mali-mali yung sinasabi niya on you. Sa akin, yun lang yung two things I think that I value in what I want to put in our clients.
How do you view the significance of material possessions, particularly clothing, in terms of maintaining your presentable appearance?
I always say dress better. So dress up rather than dress down or dress as expected, especially when it comes to sales. Now, if you're selling bubble gum, then walang problema kung mag-dress down ka. But if you're selling something like what we're selling, which is SEO, it's a high-level, high-value service that we are peddling around, then you always have to dress up. Because not only is it a respectable thing to do, it is something that would show your negotiation counterpart that you're serious about the deal and that you really prepared. So, hindi na kailangan sabihin yun. Hindi na nila kailangan expect yun. But I can tell you, there are some times, more than enough times, na nag-pitch ako, tapos nakasalubong ko yung nag-pitch before me, tapos sila nakapolo lang, tapos ako nakasuit, and I won the deal. I'm not saying it's because I wore a suit, but that is a factor. Because they feel like, ito, they respect us. And how they're treating us in the pitch pa lang is already one level higher. Paano pa if we get them as a partner? So that's my principle about it. I'm not telling you to spend on very expensive clothing. My clothing is bespoke, but I usually buy the cloth a lot cheaper. So yeah, bespoke yung pagtahe, and that's because I have an irregular body. I have a larger torso, shorter legs, extremely broad shoulders. So yung ready to wear hindi talaga bagay sa akin. Lagi siyang masyadong maliit, masikip. So I have to have it bespoke, but the tela is cheap where I buy it.
Good. I agree. Depends on what you will do, right? Especially for sales. I agree, you have to invest on what you will wear. You have to look good pa rin eh. It has an effect on the people you... Ako naman, in terms of operation, I would recommend you dress appropriately on what you will do, comfortably. Something that you don't have to spend like an hour to choose from every day. In terms of operation, because you're gonna be going to office or going to a place na repetition every day, so you don't have to spend like an hour or two just to choose. Tapos parang you always think about what I will wear, nasa stress ka. For me, really, kahit naulit mo siya, so hindi siya kailangan mahihiya ka. The important thing, if you need a pocket here, you have a pocket, diba? Mahirap nung walang pocket for some reason. May mga ganong damit. I'm also wondering, ba't nga bang may mga damit na walang pocket? But you need that pocket, right? You need where you put your pen, right? Tapos ano pa, yung mainit suotin. So, I'm not sure. I'm not a fashionista. Just that I prioritize comfortability and function when I wear things. So, you notice me just wearing the same color, right? Same color. Pero actually, iba yun. Hindi siya hindi siya paulit-ulit. Okay, I just buy the same color of the same thing. Lalo na pag tama yung size. Ang hirap makahanap ng tamang size na gusto mo yung cloth feeling, right? Yun na yung chance mo, bilihin yun, tapos next time, wala na. Wala, out of stock na. Kaya yun, I take advantage on that.
Pero ibang damit.
Ibang damit.
Hindi siya side A, side B.
Hindi. I just buy the same. Di ba?
Tama,
Weird
tama.
lang. Pero,
Parang
it
ganun
will
si
help.
Steve Jobs daw, di ba?
Yeah, it works. It
Yeah.
works. Hindi ka dapat mahiya on what you will, if it's the same look, as long as it's clean, you smell nice, right? Hindi ka naman nakaka... Yun.
Yep. Good.